See, I am the child of mayhem. You know why?
Why?
Because it's my birthday.
Not yet. It's not until next week.
Dessa got a birth 6 months.
No, she didn't.
No marshmallows.
He said Ladessa was crying. I said, why? He said, because Ladessa wanted to go get canned air. Hello, hello.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah, we've been live. Hello, Amy. Hey, Farmer Meemaw. Mark. Celtic Nana, hey. It's been a few months since I got to meet Celtic Nana.
Me too.
Did you? Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you? Did you?
Well, even if I wasn't, I was right here.
Oh.
In your heart.
You know what just occurred to me?
What?
Let me fix that a little bit.
Why?
Because we're supposed to be like a little bit better. And you can't see my shirt. See, my shirt says, oops, I gotta do it this way. I have an oil that says for that.
Mine's just heavy metal. Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. Seems to be the story of your life these days. Angry Carol.
Well, we're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube, aren't we? Kind of slow filtering in. I think it's because it's just now 7 o'clock. So I told a lot of people we'd be on at 7, so they'll start filtering in here in a minute.
No, Mom, it's 7:01.
7:01. Well, good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday evening to everyone. Now, you know when you drink all of that, you're going to have to go fill it back up, right? Okay. Hello, David. Hello from Central Florida. Hello, Kathy. Welcome. Hey, Pamela. You know, Pamela, she lives not too far from here. She does. She lives in Georgia as well. Hello, Andy's Backyard and Shop. So we're just going to wait. You know, we like to give everybody about 5 minutes.
Yeah, you know why?
To kind of get in here.
You know why?
What?
Because it's my birthday.
It's not your birthday.
Yes, it is.
So Kathleen said, hello from Seattle. Saw the notification before the show was half over. Oh, look at that. Miss Kathy's only 14 miles south of Disney. Hey,
Cool.
Terry. So, and Miss Terry, we know she lives pretty close to us, too. Hello, William McFadden. Why are you giggling?
No.
I should have done this. Oops. Vina. Hello, Vina. I don't know how many of y'all know who this is.
I'm the demon.
But this is the one that looks just like me.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because it's my birthday.
It's not your birthday.
Yes, it is.
No, next week.
It's just...
No, he's not. He's really... Stop. Your daddy will kill you. Tina is Niagara Falls. Oh, what's up? Hello, Carol. Hi, Carol. Hello, Carol. Oh, man. So what's everybody been up to these last 2 weeks? I missed everybody. We've been...
Yeah, nobody recognized me because of the pimple.
Yeah, me too. Look at this thing. It's a big monster on the side of my face. I think it's the last little bit of infection is just trying to come out of my face. Oh, look. Andy said, hey, it can be her birthday if she wants it to be because my birthday is this week too. Her birthday is not until Saturdays. She's trying to celebrate early. She's trying to claim the birthday week. So.
Hey, Dessa gets a birthday month.
No, she doesn't.
She gets a birthday 4 months.
No, she doesn't. This one's just a little salty because whenever Ladessa's birthday comes, the beginning of the month is when our fair is. And this past year was also when the
It's every year.
when the conference was. So Ladessa got a little bit of extra love this month, or this year, this past year.
And all I get is Lobster Fest.
So anyway. Alright, let's see. That's right. February is birthday month. It's the only month you can use the whole month.
Hey, look!
What?
Who's here?
Who?
What time is it?
Yeah, I know. I told you Miss Terry's here. Yeah, see? Miss Nunda said, I love Dawn Carol. Mm-hmm.
No, her name's not Miss Nunda.
No.
It's Miss Cornbread.
What
Just like
are you?
It's either applesauce or apple.
I don't
Apple
remember.
pie.
You'll have to ask her. I don't remember. But okay, so it's just about 5 after. Still a little low on numbers. I know everybody's been having issues still with notifications. I know I noticed when I went to start apple pie. There it is.
Yeah.
Little Miss Apple Pie. When I started the chat, there's this new thing about like top chat versus live chat or filtered chat or something. So I'm sure you guys have probably run into that where the chat kind of pops up and it's kind of weird. So, but you know, it's YouTube, so they're always doing stuff. See, look, even Miss Kitty didn't have notification on hers. I was wondering why she hadn't shown up yet.
Maybe.
Okay, well now
Love us
that
anymore.
now that the party's here, now she better love us. She's moving down here. You didn't know that? She's gonna be here in like a month. Yay! Stop now. I will make you leave. Okay. So over the last couple of classes, we did the herb spices. And herb essential oils, and we did the citrus essential oils. And so this week should kind of round I think this rounds it up. I'm not sure. But we're going to talk about the spice oils, which we love at our house because we use a bunch of them for cooking, which most of these that we've talked about, we used. The citrus ones. What's your favorite citrus oil? Which one do you like the most?
How many are there?
Well, there's lemon, lime,
Lemongrass.
wild orange, lemongrass. There's
That's my favorite. Lemongrass.
yeah. Up. Here he comes. Nope. Oh, it's a different one. What are you doing in here? Why is he here? What are you here for? Oh, somebody needs to do his Spanish.
Uh-huh.
Well, hello, Suburban. She said she's making dinner right now. So, all right. So, Rebecca will be more than happy to talk so you can listen. So while she's cooking dinner, we do that a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Put the phone up in the kitchen while we're cooking.
But you just do it with Arrow.
I like to watch Green Arrow. So, all right. So, we talked about citrus oils. You
I
said
wasn't there for that.
yeah. And then last week we did the herbs. Are there any herb oils that you like?
Mint. No, spearmint.
Spearmint? Ugh. Makes me sick to my tummy. And you guys love to pop the top on it, don't you?
No, Dessa does. She like put a drop on Mommy's pillow.
Yeah, they like to set me up for that one. So this week we're going to talk about using the different spice essential oils, and that's going to be black pepper, cardamom, cassia, cinnamon bark, clove, coriander, cumin, dill, fennel, ginger, and juniper berry. Are any of those sound good to you? What are you laughing at?
You pronounced cumin wrong.
Cumin, cumin, oregano. I'm used to hearing Coumadin, which is a medicine. So cumin, whatever you want to call it. Cumin. Like Cummins, Georgia. It's all different pronunciations here. So how do you say that one?
Coriander.
Oh, okay. Well, I got that one.
Coriander.
Coriander. Well, at least I didn't mess up Dill. You can't really mess that one up, can you? So, okay.
No.
So, Amanda says she loves clove and cinnamon. We like clove and cinnamon too, don't we? We like to use those a lot.
For our teeth.
Tea. I've used them for sore tooth or sore gums before.
Not tea. Teeth.
Oh, teeth. I thought you said tea. I've used it in tea too. The cinnamon's really good in tea. Just got to be really careful because it's a hot oil. Okay, so all of these oils, the spice oils, they're different from the citrus oils in that they're all steam distilled. They're not cold pressed. They're very potent. All of these spice oils are extremely strong. So when you're using them to cook with, what do you do?
You only use one drop.
No, you don't even use it. Yeah, go ahead.
You take a toothpick and put it into the oil and you stir.
With the wooden toothpick, because I'm telling you, if you use a full drop, you totally overpower what you're trying to flavor.
Yeah, like with the egg roll in the bowl and ginger. We use too many, or Blaze used too many.
Too many oils. See, that's the cool thing, like, I don't know about all of y'all, but when I go to cook something and it needs ginger, a lot of times we don't have any fresh ginger just sitting around the house. But we always have ginger oil, so we usually use the ginger oil to flavor whatever it is we're cooking.
Basically, if we had enough money, our spice cabinet would basically be Mom's oil bag.
Pretty much. Pretty much. It's pretty close. Okay, so now obviously all of these oils enhance flavor, but they also carry different properties that are beneficial to use them for besides just cooking. So like black pepper, cardamom, cassia, coriander, cumin, dill, fennel, and ginger, they're all good for gastrointestinal health and digestion. So every one of those helps aid in digestion and gastrointestinal health. Cassia and cinnamon also are really good for supporting and strengthening the immune system. So, and I don't know how many of y'all remember cassia. You remember what cassia tastes like? What does it taste like?
You said poop in a scientific way.
I didn't say poop. I said digestion.
You said gastro.
Oh, gastrointestinal. No, that's your stomach. You're silly. I'm going to make you write that word a bunch of times and write the definition. Anyway, so,
it tastes like cinnamon, right?
Well,
like cassia?
It's close. To me, it reminds me of one of those like Red Hots or Atomic Fireball. Yeah. Tastes like that. It's really good.
I don't like Red Hots.
Why not? Oh, I love them. Anyway, so first one I wanted to talk about was black pepper. And with that one, you're actually getting it from the fruit or the like the berry that comes off the plant. It's steam distilled, and as far as cautions or interactions or anything like that, definitely be careful with black pepper because it can cause skin irritation. So make sure that you dilute when you're using black pepper.
That does mess your skin up.
Right. Also, if you're pregnant, be careful with this oil. It's probably not the safest thing to use. As far as topically, obviously if you're using black pepper while you're pregnant, regular black pepper, it's not. But remember that when you're using essential oils, that you're getting the most potent part of the plant in high concentration, so you just want to be really careful. Another thing with black pepper is overuse. If you use it too much, it can actually cause your kidneys to overstimulate, so you want to be really careful with that. Don't use it before bed. And obviously keep it away from your eyes, because that oil's pretty strong. Even smelling it, like if you go to inhale it, I don't even know that I recommend inhaling it.
Like, remember the cartoons when they smell pepper? And
they start chewing everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's basically what it's like.
Black pepper is definitely not one that I would recommend, like, putting in your hand and, like, taking a big whiff of, because it brings tears to my eyes.
It'll mess you up.
Yeah, it's not good. As far as history goes with black pepper, there's some pretty cool things. It was stuffed, the black pepper was actually stuffed in Ramses II into his nose as part of the mummification process. The monks used peppercorns for endurance whenever they would go walking on long walks and trips. And that's where the saying, put a little pep in your step, comes from, is the peppercorn. So that's pretty cool.
I was the one who told you that.
Yep, you sure were. Months ago. So, as far as properties go, this is obviously, like I said before, it's a digestive. It's also a carminative, which means it helps with gas. It helps you not to fart. It's also an antispasmodic, anti-rheumatic, anti-arthritic. It's antibacterial. And it's definitely an antioxidant, so it helps to remove all of the free radicals from your system. Like, to get rid of all of the yuck that goes into your system. Huh? Oh, I didn't cover them all. I don't have long enough time to do them all. Well, so, okay.
That one, I think, was the coolest one of all.
So, this helps to promote healthy circulation. It'll help soothe anxiety. It helps with gas, constipation, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea. It also helps with cramps, pains, and spasms. It can help with the cold and flu. We did not use this one while we were sick. But I imagine it would probably help to clear out sinuses and all of that mucus and nasty stuff. Especially with it being antibacterial. And also, and the other thing too is, with it being an antispasmodic, I'm not sure how it would work, but in theory, it should help with that pestering cough, like the cough that just keeps coming that you can't get rid of.
Like I had last week.
Yeah, like we all had last week. Also, the other thing that black pepper has been brought to the forefront as far as essential oils go in conversation is about helping with quitting smoking, or just with addiction in general. People will, whenever they have the urge to smoke, instead of smoking, they'll take a wooden toothpick and put black pepper oil on it, and then they'll chew the toothpick for as long as they would normally take to smoke a cigarette. So it helps to try and break the cycle and make it where it's not as pleasant. I guess it's more along the lines of trying to associate, trying to break the habit by replacing, a bad situation with that 2 minutes of smoking or whatever it is, because I imagine it is not pleasant to chew on a black pepper toothpick. Or now I know Blaze made some for somebody at work, and I think it also had cinnamon in it. It was another spicy oil, and so it's kind of a hot toothpick, chewing on a toothpick until, for that 2 minutes instead of smoking a cigarette. So that's one application that I've heard a lot of people try to use with black pepper, but it's not that it completely takes away cravings or anything like that. It just helps in aiding somebody to quit.
It helps break the cycle of
wanting to have a cigarette. Okay, so cardamom is next. Oh, and let me show you real quick. This is what black pepper looks like. It comes in a 5 milliliter bottle, so it's much smaller. But trust me when I tell you that a little bit goes an absolutely long way, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, next one is cardamom. This is cardamom. Cardamom is also in a 5 milliliter bottle. Okay. Cardamom also comes from the seed. As far as interactions and precautions, overuse can cause gallstone colic if you already have gallstone issues. So be very careful with that. There aren't any known interactions that I could find. So that's basically the only thing, is if you already are having issues with gallstones, you want to be very careful not to use this oil because it could cause something called gallstone colic. We all know colic is a bad gas pain kind of situation, so would not recommend using cardamom if you currently have gallstones. Now, as far as properties go, cardamom reduces spasms. It helps neutralize the adverse effects of chemo. It can reduce nausea. It's antiseptic, antimicrobial, astringent, digestive, stimulant. It's a diuretic, and supposedly it's an aphrodisiac. So now that somebody has entered the room, you better start taking notes. That would be cardamom. Okay.
Who is this beautiful lady?
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, as far as cardamom goes, it is good for congestion. It's good for constipation and, again, digestive issues. We talked about that at the beginning. It's good for gastritis and ulcers. So basically anything having to do with the stomach. It's also good for muscle pain, pancreatitis, mental fatigue, sore throat and fever. It's good for menstrual cramps. It's also good to help with household odors. So this is a very potent smelling oil. So if you were to diffuse this would help neutralize some of those smells.
Apollo.
So some Apollo farts might help. So we got to get the cardamom and put it in the diffuser.
Or just put it on his nubbin.
So when he fluffs, it diffuses cardamom. That would be kind of funny. Okay. So now one of my favorite spice oils is Cassia. And Cassia is made from the bark of the plant rather than the seed like the first two that we talked about. As far as precaution, Daddy said, leave my dog alone.
Oh, I already have your dog for April Fool's Day.
Okay, so as far as precautions go and contraindications, first and foremost, this is a hot oil, so definitely make sure that you dilute when, make sure to dilute it when you're using it. If you're pregnant or nursing, you don't really want to mess with this oil. It contains large amounts of coumarin, so it can lower blood pressure. So be careful if you're taking diabetes medication, because it can interact with that. And I've said this before, if you are taking a medication for something and the medication does the same thing that the oil does, then you want to be very careful, because it could intensify the effects of the medication because they're doing the same thing. So if you have, there's Miss Hope, say hi. So if you're taking a medication that's supposed to lower your blood sugar, But then you also have this oil that could lower your blood sugar. Then you really want to be careful because you want to monitor your blood sugar to make sure you don't bottom out, right? So be very careful with that.
You want to lower it, but not.
Right. Large doses can also cause liver damage, so be careful with that. You don't want to take it in excessive amounts. It can also interact with other meds that are processed through the liver. So things like Tylenol, diflucan, erythromycin, Dilantin, lovastatin, and simvastatin. So all of those, liver alone.
Liver alone.
So you got to be really careful with those medications that process through the liver. You want to make sure not to use Cassia as much.
Oh!
As well. What?
Oh!
She called you baby. And she also called Jason a baby.
Come at me!
Okay, so interesting history fact with Cassia. Moses included Cassia in the anointing oil. And also 19th century physicians prescribed Cassia for stomach issues. So this spice has a history of already being used to help with internal and gastrointestinal kind of issues. So I know I said poop. Okay. As far as properties go, this oil can be an antidepressant. It can be anti-rheumatic, anti-arthritic, antimicrobial, astringent, circulatory, antiviral. It's an emmenagogue. It's a febrifuge, stimulant, carminative, decongestant, and antifungal. It's also, this is a fancy word, anti-galactagogue. Can you say that word? Anti-galactagogue. It sounds like a
anti-galactagogue. Yes, I know what it is. It's when space people get constipated. Old school, baby.
No. So anti-galactagogue means that, and this is why I said earlier, if you're nursing, you don't want to use this oil because it can actually anti-galactagogue. A galactagogue would help with breast milk production. So it would help you to produce more breast milk. But an anti-galactagogue would actually lower your production. So like where Fennel is more of a galactagogue, Cassia is an anti-galactagogue. So you definitely want to make sure that you're not. And then reason why you don't want to use it while you're pregnant is we talked about it being an emmenagogue. It can actually help to stimulate menses. So you want to make sure not to use it while you're pregnant so that you don't stimulate that area to where you might either have a miscarriage or early pregnancy or anything like that. Early delivery, I guess is what I should say. So, okay. So, other words, funny words. Febrifuge. Febrifuge means it can help lower fever. And then, let's see, were there any other funky words in there? Carminative, you know what carminative is? It helps you not fall.
Miss Hope and Dad are going back and forth.
They always do. They're like brother and sister. Okay. Oh, it's also an analgesic and an antispasmodic. Analgesic means it helps with pain. And antispasmodic means what? Helps things not to spasm. Yes.
Not to spaz out. Like Dad at the Waffle House.
Can you get that at a synagogue? Okay. In that one, let me show you that bottle. It's a 15 milliliter bottle. So, definitely not. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to
Okay, so it's 15.
I brought the popcorn.
It's a 15 milliliter bottle. We love Cassia here. It's good to flavor water with and things like that. It helps with circulation. So somebody who has issues with colder extremities, like poor circulation, This helps. You can put it on like hands and feet to help warm up the hands and feet. It also helps with upset stomach or vomiting. It helps with fluid retention because it's a diuretic, so it'll help you to, what does diuretic mean? Make you go...
Diarrhea.
No, it makes you go pee. So it helps with water retention because of that. Also, it will help balance blood sugar. So again, that's what I was saying before. If you're taking medication for that, you want to be very careful with this oil so it doesn't intensify the effects of the medication that you're taking. It helps to boost metabolism. It can also help with hunger cravings. So if you're feeling kind of hungry and you know it's going to be a while before you have to eat dinner, lunch, whatever, put a little bit in your water, swirl it around, drink it. Just make sure you don't put it in a plastic cup, styrofoam cup. Make sure it's always glass or stainless steel. Okay. So, and it can also increase sexual desire. So
that doesn't do anything.
I know. So on those nights, you close the door. So earmuffs. So, okay. Next one is cinnamon. Very similar. Cinnamon and cassia are very similar. Cinnamon is also processed from the bark, steam distilled. Stop. As far as contraindications and precautions, again with the gallstones issue, you want to be careful. It's also high doses can damage the liver. Again with the diabetes. Stop. Diabetes again. Also blood thinners. You want to be careful if you're on blood thinners and using this oil. You want to be really careful. Also, it's an anticoagulant. So, if you're having issues, if you already have issues with blood clotting, you want to be very careful with this. Also, pregnant women, again, check with your physician before using. And really, any of these oils, especially if you're pregnant, guys, make sure you're having a conversation with your healthcare provider or with somebody who truly knows. Like, I'm just giving you the information that I'm finding. I'm not by any means a healthcare professional. So, you know, any kind of situation, you want to make sure that you're keeping the dialogue open, that your healthcare provider at least knows that you use stuff. Like, even with us, when we go to the doctor, you know, we'll have people that, you know, will furl their lip at us and be like, ugh, stupid essential oil people or whatever. But then at the same time, you know, you'll have some doctors that are like, well, yes, I've heard of using Fennel for lactating and, you know, things like that. So at least make them aware, because if they don't have all the information and something happens, then that can be a problem too, you know, if they don't know about it. Okay, let's see. Alright, one thing that I have found on cinnamon that you gotta be really careful with is sometimes cinnamon is not always made from the bark. Some of the cheaper oils you'll find it's actually made from the cinnamon leaf. So, or it's blended with cinnamon leaves. So you want to make sure for the appropriate amount of, or for it to be potent and good quality oil, you want it to be from the bark. And you'll see that like on the bottle with ours, it says cinnamon bark on it. So you know that it's made from the bark itself. Alright, so excuse me. It's harvested in the rainy season because that's when the sap is flowing freely, so it's a better time for them to harvest it. It's the longest existing spice in history. It was part of the holy anointing oil of Exodus. So a long history for cinnamon oil. As far as properties go, it's anti-parasitic. It's astringent, antiseptic, antifungal, analgesic, antimicrobial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and again, this one is also an aphrodisiac. So there are a couple of blends. There's one blend in particular that doTERRA has called Passion, and if I'm not mistaken, both of those oils, I think Cassia and cinnamon are both in there. And because they're warming oils, so they're definitely going to help with circulation and kind of warm everything up. So this one is also good for the pancreas and the blood sugar regulation. It's good for cold and flu because of it being antimicrobial and antibacterial. What?
No, Mr. Daniel's here.
Oh, well, hello, Mr. Daniel. It's good for cholesterol and heart issues, again, because it's helping with circulation. It's good for oral health. It's good for germs and bacteria. It's also a natural repellent for some insects. There's a lot of people that put cinnamon out, as well as like peppermint and things like that, so this is definitely one to try. It's good for muscle strain and pain, again, because of the warming effects of the oil. It's also good for hormone support. It helps balance hormones. And it's also good to help with metabolism. Now, the next one is clove. Now, a lot of times people will use cinnamon and clove or cassia and clove a lot of times for dental health. If they have sore gums, tooth abscess. I know Kitty, what's the mix that you use? I guess it's cinnamon, clove, peppermint, and helichrysum, maybe, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that works really well for mouth pain. And the reason I'm very sure that it works is that all of those oils, even the
like when I had
the peppermint,
when I had the ulcer,
right,
on my tooth was coming in at the same time.
Even the peppermint is such an intense oil that it can, there you go, clove, helichrysum, and peppermint. But even like the clove and the peppermint, all of those are such intense oils that kind of have a warming effect that it helps to numb that area really well. So it helps with any kind of, like, I've had times where my gums just get really, really sore, and I can kind of rinse it around, and it works really well. Does clove have to be mixed with another oil? As far as using it neat, I have gotten to the point where I dilute just about every oil. I like being able to maximize the amount of space that the oils cover, that they cover on my skin. Oh, is she leaving? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Kitty said that with what she used, the clove, the helichrysum, and the peppermint, it killed the infection in 2 days, and it kills the pain immediately. It really does, because it essentially numbs, when it gets contact with your mouth, it numbs it, almost like how mouthwash, like the Listerine does. It kind of has that same effect where it kind of burns, but then leaves it a little numb to help with pain. So it's a good one to have. Now, clove is done from the unopened flower buds of the plant. As far as contraindications and precautions and contraindications, this one can slow blood clotting, so you got to be careful with that. So if you have bleeding disorders or surgery, you want to be very careful with using this oil. Also, it can interact with an anticoagulant, so you got to be careful with that as well. Alright, as far as properties go, it's antioxidant, antiviral, antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, it's an expectorant, antibacterial, antiparasitic, and it's also an insect repellent. Clove is really good for liver and brain support. It's good to help give your immune system a boost. It helps with circulation and hypertension. Like I said before, all these warming oils can kind of help the blood flow a little bit better.
Your buddy's here.
Oh, hey Woody, what's up? Is that one of the ones I use on your back? Clove? No, we don't use clove on your back. Clove works good for tooth pain and cavities. It's also good for thyroid and metabolism issues. It's good for infections, like Kitty was talking about. It's also good for viruses and colds because of those antiseptic, antiviral, antibacterial properties. And this is another one that can help with smoking. What? Okay, yeah. So this is another one because of it being, clove is also one of those spicy oils. So, you know, putting it with a toothpick and chewing on it would also be another one that could help with smoking addiction. The next one, there's a lot of spice oils. The next one is coriander. Let me do coriander. Actually, I forgot clove. See, I did all of these. This is a 15 milliliter bottle. We go through a clove bottle probably once every 2 months because we use it in a lot of flavoring with stuff, but we also do use it for mouth issues, health. Like if we're out of On Guard, which is the protective blend, we'll take and mix up clove and we'll put wild orange, a couple, you know, we'll put some citrus in there, and then also the cinnamon, the clove, those kind of things. Rosemary to kind of kill all the bacteria in the air that's floating around if we don't have On Guard at the moment. Now the next one, this next one is coriander. Now coriander and cilantro they're from the same plant. So the coriander is from the from the seeds, and the cilantro oil is done from the leaves. Okay, so the coriander is the seed product, the oils that come from the seed. Terry, I think I'm getting to that. I think there was a couple, at least one on here, I think, that you can't use as far as being epileptic. We'll go through it again, and if I don't cover it, we'll look it all up and make sure what things you can use and what you can't. Excuse me. So as far as coriander goes, as far as contraindications and precautions go, be very careful. Let's see. All right, this one can cause increased sensitivity to the skin, or to the sun, I'm sorry. So you gotta be careful with that. It can cause allergic reactions. You gotta be very careful with blood sugar, low blood pressure, and definitely with surgery. You know, we talked about if you're going to have surgery within 2 weeks, you need to stop certain oils. This is one that you would stop. You know, I think my other co-pilot was much prettier.
She was better looking than me. But that's okay.
So, as far as properties go, this one is an analgesic, an antispasmodic, a carminative, depurative, which I think means
you crazy.
No, why do I want to say that means something about sweating, but I think I'm wrong.
Don't make you sweat.
No, some words I forget to write
like
down.
CNC music.
Yeah,
Factory,
okay, so it helps with detox. It's a detoxifier. So then you also have it's a deodorant, so it helps you smell better.
Hope needs that.
Digestive, fungicidal, Lipolytic. So this one helps with,
Fungicide. Does that mean it's a fun guy?
yeah. Helps with breaking down fat. It's also a stimulant.
Ooh,
So
breaking down fat,
and
huh?
and it's an aphrodisiac. There's a lot of these oils that are aphrodisiacs.
You need to start drinking them.
No,
I mean,
I'm
just
killing
bottoms
myself.
Drink it.
Okay, so as far as uses for it, this one is another one that helps with gas and nausea.
Yes.
Helps with blood sugar. Jason, you look 15.
That's because you can't see the goatee because it's all gray and it doesn't show up good on the camera.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, zits show up really good.
Those are love bumps.
It's all of my infection that's left over from the flu. It just came out through that one pore and was like, let me out.
That was gross.
It was gross. It's really bad. This helps with itchy skins and rashes. You put a little bit of like coconut oil with it, and just for men.
I had popcorn.
You're funny.
I did.
This is also good for joint pain. Helps stimulate appetite if you don't have one. Food poisoning, which you don't ever have a problem with, right?
A cast iron stomach.
No, I was talking about the appetite stimulation. You don't need any help with that, do you?
Nope.
Also helps with body odor.
That you need help with.
It helps with low energy and exhaustion. It also can help with clearing complexion. So I'm going to try and use coriander, because I have coriander. I might put a little bit on there and see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, okay, so Amanda, here's the thing. She said toothpaste overnight will dry out and clear up zits. The plain white toothpaste. What about toothpaste? Robin doesn't like the smell of toothpaste. Toothpaste makes me bleh. I have to have a specific type of toothpaste just so I don't get sick to my stomach. Anyway, if it has the slightest hint of spearmint in it, it's like bleh.
So did you share about Easter?
No, I didn't share about Easter. Robin, the Clear HD rollerball works well for breakouts. Here's the thing. I only break out when I need my Clary Calm. So, it's about that time. So, if y'all didn't catch that, he's talking about me riding my cycle. So, anyway, so that's the only time I have breakouts anymore. So, it's just a natural thing.
It ain't natural. Straight from Satan.
Alright, so the next one is cumin.
Is it human?
Cumin. Cumin
What are you doing?
also comes from,
What are you doing?
Look at that. Easter is her move day to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Let's see. Wait a minute.
Why do you got all these different oils?
So these are all the spice oils. So all the ones that we cook with that are like hot and spicy. The hot and spicy oils.
Yeah,
so it's no surprise that a bunch of these.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, it doesn't
Hot and
surprise
spicy.
anybody if it has if they're
Tonight's live stream is PG 17.
17. It's all because of that 50 Shades commercials that keep coming out. That's what it is. I was totally influenced by marketing, I guess. Okay, so cumin may slow down blood clotting. It could make bleeding disorders worse. Stop. Cumin can also possibly lower blood sugar, so you definitely want to make sure to monitor that.
The sugar.
Again, if you're having surgery, stop 2 weeks prior to your surgery to make sure that,
Gonna get your cut on.
yeah. Now, that's a good question. I know that oils can eat away at plastic. Will they mess up dentures? I would think it's a possibility.
Unless you got like George Washington dentures.
Or if you got like
Ivy.
stainless steel. I don't, Terry, that's a good question. I would think it's a possibility.
Probably.
I really would, because I have watched them eat away at, how they sell the stainless cups, but the top has
Definitely couldn't fix it and forget it.
has the top part has the plastic lid on it. I have seen when I used to drink like cinnamon or cassia or lemon.
Coke or
I would put
martinis.
that in the glass,
Vodka.
and I thought I was doing a good thing by keeping it in the stainless steel cup. But what I didn't realize is every time I would drink from it, the water would splash up onto the plastic lid. And over time,
a lot of people.
yeah, there's like nobody here tonight. I think a lot of people didn't get the notification. But anyway, so what would happen?
See Amy for real.
She was in here.
I don't see Nunda.
She was in here. She may be still in here, just not commenting.
Hope left.
But the
She got scared.
the lid, I'm gonna pop you in the face. It's just gonna pow right there.
I didn't notice how I didn't even move. I'm not even scared.
You did that time.
That's because you hit my nose.
So I didn't touch you. So the plastic lid, what will happen is that over time it started to eat away at the finish of the plastic lid. So I think that could be a problem. So Amanda says, I would think soaking them versus eating, drinking would be different for the dentures. I don't know, Amanda. I'm really, because like I said, even with me just drinking it, just because, you know, the water wasn't up at the top sitting on the plastic. And it wasn't like it happened all at one time. It was over 8 months of use. And all of a sudden, I really should have kept that lid so I could show it. But over time, it wore away at the plastic enamel or whatever finish on the inside of the lid. So, you know, might want to be careful. And that was mostly with like the lemon and the cassia. And yeah, and that was the thing, is the oils tend to float to the top. And even if I swirl it around, the minute that you start to drink and you have that opening there, the oils are right up against plastic. So that was the thing, is I just wanted to be
Two-family
careful
in the
with that.
house.
Okay, I can get around that and still be able to use them. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not very often that people ingest them, and it would be a prolonged use. I don't know. So that's the 10-minute answer to that question.
Hello, Sandy's Travel and Garden.
I would just be careful. And again, it might not be something that shows up right away. It might be something that happens over time. So I would be very aware of at least your citrus oils. I
just wonder if the stuff that they soak them in would counterbalance it.
I don't know. And that's the thing she's saying. If you're going to use them, like if you wanted to internally use them for health benefits, you could always use the capsules. You can put them inside the little veggie capsules and ingest them that way.
Yeah. But if you got a toothache and you want,
well,
if you
but
don't,
in
you
her,
don't have teeth.
But if she has gum issues, she would just take her dentures out and use it on her gums. I mean, that, I am sure that would help a lot. If you have any kind of discomfort or pain, you could definitely use it on your gums. I have used it before. It definitely helps a lot. I know a lot of people in here, it saved them a trip to the doctor. Yeah, because they either killed an infection or got rid of the pain, you know, and killed an infection or whatever. So those are definitely oils. And that's the thing, like with cinnamon, cinnamon is kind of expensive. Clove is not nearly as expensive, but both very powerful oils to have in your arsenal as far as fighting infections, colds, flus, that kind of stuff. And my baby. Poor baby. Okay, so as far as cumin goes, also, cumin can be phototoxic, meaning that, you know, if you go out...
It doesn't like it getting its picture made.
No. If you go out in the sun, within so many hours of it, you're exposing yourself at kind of photosensitivity. Cumin will interact with diabetes medication, so definitely be careful with that. Also, using high doses of cumin can cause nausea, so definitely be aware of how much you're using. As far as history goes, the history of cumin goes back over 5,000 years. Egyptians used it in the mummification process. Greeks and Romans used it for medicinal purposes. They used it to make the complexion more pale, which I thought was pretty neat. Also, it was originally cultivated in Iran and in the Mediterranean. It's from the parsley family. David Jeffers says, peekaboo.
Yeah, I saw
In the Middle Ages, they used it to promote heart health, and as well as love and fidelity. People carried it to weddings, and they would also use it to keep lovers from straying. Like, that was like the story or the anecdote behind it. I just got a 2-week. Okay. Married soldiers also used to be sent off with fresh baked loaves of cumin bread to in hopes that it would help the soldiers be faithful to their spouse while they were out. As far as properties go, it's a bactericidal, it's carminative, digestive, diuretic, antiseptic, antispasmodic. It's a detoxifier, and a emmenagogue, a stimulant, a nervine, and a tonic. I stepped away for a minute. What was that last oil? The last one was coriander, but now we're talking about cumin. We're on cumin now. As far as things that it's good for, can help kill bacteria. So, like in the stomach, the colon, and the intestines.
I've never heard of a goat giving 2 gallons a day.
Me neither. It helps remove flatulence, so it helps with, it's a carminative, so it's going to help with gas and the pain associated with gas. It also helps aid in digestion. In low doses, it can help stimulate the appetite. It's also a diuretic. Oh, Teresa said, "Where's the hair?"
It makes you pee.
Yes, it does make you pee. It can help heal wounds and protect and prevent sepsis from happening. So with that being an antibacterial and antiseptic, it definitely helps with if you have some kind of situation where you get a cut or something that's pretty intense as far as a wound goes. Treating it with cumin can help a lot to prevent sepsis from happening, which is infection in the blood.
So if I cut my leg with a chainsaw,
we're going to have to use a gallon of it. Between that and the helichrysum.
just gotta stitch it.
Yeah. So it can also help with cramps, non-stop coughs, pains.
Seriously?
What?
Non-stop coughs?
Oh, I know.
Hello,
Look,
where were you?
Right. So a lot of these, I've started realizing we weren't applying our knowledge. Antispasmodic.
We?
So
We weren't applying our knowledge?
I love you, but you're a pain in my butt. So a lot of these that are antispasmodics would have been good to try and help with the constant cough that, you know, when we were going through the flu, it's an upper respiratory, right? So, issue. So, you're constantly coughing and almost to the point where you couldn't catch your breath. So, some of these oils that are antispasmodic would have been nice to try to see. And we'll know for next time.
Yeah, got me a water. I got tickled for real from
I got
popcorn.
an antispasmodic. You don't have any popcorn.
I had popcorn before I came out here.
Did you really?
Yes, I swear.
Okay. And it also helps remove toxins from the body. Again, like I said, it's a diuretic. So it helps it helps you pee. Helps remove the toxins from the body. It also helps like remove things like excess hormones and also metabolic byproducts. So the stuff that Natasha said they can't see me. How will they know I'm waving? So we tried Breathe. We didn't have the cough drops, but we tried both of those, and it was really, I mean,
the glue stick worked.
Yes, the glue stick worked pretty well on the chest. We used that with everybody. Okay.
And then tell them what you did with the washcloth.
Oh, so
that was
yes,
great.
Very, very, very good idea. So anybody who's going through that right now, or even any kind of upper respiratory issue, where you're having a hard time breathing or cleaning out, you got all the mucus drained and stuff like that.
I like pineapple.
We took basic white washcloths. You can get like a big bundle, a big bundle on sale at Walmart for like $4 or $5. We didn't use Breathe. Listen to what we did. We took straight up eucalyptus.
Straight up.
And we
Pulled
took
it right out of the koala's mouth.
We took and laid 5 washcloths in a bowl, a metal bowl. And then each washcloth, I put 3 drops of eucalyptus straight onto the washcloth. Then we boiled water in a tea kettle. And once it got right, and then once it started to scream at us, we poured it over the washcloths and kind of moved them all around, got it all circulating in there. And then I drained the water out. And actually, while I was doing it, I was tenting over the water that was coming up, so that helped me as well. And then I very quickly wrung out the washcloths real quick, and then handed them to each of the kids and to Jason and I. And we would fold them just up over our nose and face, and leave the mouth open to be able to mouth breathe.
We were mouth breathers.
Yeah, and that helped to open up a lot.
And it stopped the cough, too.
Yeah, it stopped the cough. And then it also, the other thing is it helped both of the girls, and Blaze too, it helped soothe them enough that they were able to just fall asleep and relax. Mm-hmm. So that's a little tip. Breathe would probably work good as well. But straight up, eucalyptus is such a powerful oil. It's so potent by itself that it worked really well for us.
It was awesome.
Okay, so dill. Dill is another spice oil. Yeah. As far as contraindications and precautions go, it's photosensitives. It can also cause skin sensitivity, so you want to make sure that you're diluting that one. Don't use while you're pregnant. It will stimulate menses, so you want to make sure not to use it while you're pregnant.
That's fake contractions, right?
No, menses is a period, so you don't want to start contractions and things of that nature.
I only had a comma when I was pregnant.
Yeah, so
I had a couple of parentheses.
It can lower blood sugar, so again,
a couple of quotes.
If you're having surgery, stop 2 weeks before surgery because it could cause issues with that. Also, lithium. If you use lithium at all, that interacts with dill as well, so be careful with that.
So keep the dill away from my cordless drill?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Because of the lithium batteries?
Mm-hmm. So, dill comes from the Old Norse word Dilla, D-Y-L-L-A, which means to soothe or to lull.
Then why do you call somebody a dill hole?
I don't know. Why do you call somebody a dill hole?
They're acting like a dill hole.
Okay.
But if that's not what dill means, then I guess we got to start calling them something else.
Dill goes back to about 3000 BC. First century Rome, they used it as a good luck symbol. Ancient Egyptians. Ancient Egyptians use it to ward off witches, and they also use it as an aphrodisiac. For the Greeks, dill signified wealth. As far as for the Puritans and the Quakers, they used to give their children dill seeds to chew on at church to help suppress their appetite. So while they're sitting in church, they would chew on dill seeds to keep them from complaining about being hungry. So that's pretty cool.
Where dill hole came from.
Put it in your dill hole. Okay, so as far as properties go, wards off wishes. That's in history. As far as properties go, it's antispasmodic, it's a carminative, digestive, disinfectant, galactagogue. So galactagogue means helps with milk production, helps stimulate milk production. So dill is definitely one of those that you could use for that. It's a sedative, pseudophoric, an antibacterial, an expectorant, and a menagogue, and it's also hypertensive. Almost done. So what?
No, it's just
having terrible computer net problems tonight. We'll have to try and get back in a bit. Well, we'll be here for a little bit longer, old as dirt. Okay, so as far as applications, this can be very helpful for helping with muscle spasms. It can help to calm you down. So for people with nervousness issues, anxiety, this helps. It also helps with pancreatic support. So again, it's one of these gastrointestinal oils that helps with
Bronchitis.
overall. No, as Carol said, you just said a fancy word of saying poop. It's also a detoxifier. It can help balance electrolytes.
That's what Powerade and Pringles is for.
Mm-hmm. As far as cholesterol, it can help with cholesterol and high blood pressure, respiratory issues. It also helps with things like gas, colic, bloating, indigestion, things like that. And like I said before, it does help stimulate lactation. So it can help if you're having an issue with production, it can help stimulate that to make your production go up. Now, the other one that does that too is fennel. So we'll talk about that one as well. Fennel, as far as contraindications and precautions go, this can start menses, so make sure if you're pregnant, you're not using this. It can also, you got to be really careful with young children. Using it, be very careful with young children. Also, this can raise estrogen levels. So women with breast or uterine cancers or tumors, you want to be very careful to limit your dosage. Heavy dosage can also cause convulsions, hallucinations, and mental imbalance. So got to be careful with that. And this is the one that I'm sure, Terry, you already know. Don't use fennel if you're epileptic, because it can trigger your seizures. So you got to be really careful. Okay, so history. Egyptians used it for food. The Chinese used it to treat snake bites.
Oh, you get a bit of a snake. Oh, you get a Dill.
Roman warriors used it as a symbol of strength.
Be strong like Dill.
Athenians used stalks of woven fennel to symbolize a victory. Charlemagne in 812 declared that fennel needed to be grown in every garden, even the imperial gardens. It was also hung over doors, especially during the summer solstice, to ward off evil spirits. It was also used to suppress the appetite during fasting or during long services, church
Maybe that's
services.
what we need to do.
What, fennel?
Just hang fennel
Everywhere. Yeah, maybe. As far as properties go, it's antiseptic, antispasmodic. It's an aperitif, which has to do with
Appetite?
no. God, you made me go blank. Oh,
I have that effect on women.
it has to do with your, hold on. God,
Your butt?
you always mess me up with these. No. It has to do with,
Your big toe.
no, it helps to stimulate eating. So, like your appetite, right, but
That's what I said.
But you weren't clear about what you were saying. Okay, let's see. Karina says, every time the barometric pressure changes in the night, I get severe leg and foot cramps. I awake screaming and crying. It takes hours to go away. Do not say eat bananas. Is there anything to help?
You know what? That's a good question because, and maybe that's what's going on with me here because the last couple of nights, because of how the weather's been, my hip, the one that stupid fake, what are they called? Therapist, where they make you move your physical therapist once you hurt my hip. And I woke up a couple of times. That's why I tell you to switch sides of the bed so that way I can still hold you.
But what do we put on you to help relieve some of that?
I don't know. You tell me to shut up and go back to sleep.
We do geranium. We do ginger, cedarwood. We have a bunch of different ones that we use to help. But his is mostly nerves and also degenerative. He has degenerative discs issues in his back and a lot of nerve pain. So that's what he uses, a lot of different things like that to help with those. Also, doTERRA makes something called it's a deep blue rub. It's a lotion that actually helps, kind of like an icy hot. That tends to help you out a lot too. So those are
the roller ball works really good too.
The deep blue roller ball. Yeah. So that's another one is the deep blue. They have a roller ball that's already set up that you can use. Are there any spice oils that help with hot flashes and Satan's nighttime visits? No, and not in my opinion. The reason why is because a lot of these oils are warming oils, and you really don't want to use a warming oil when you're having midnight snacks with Satan, right? So a lot of times what I'll use is, I use the Clary Calm, but I also use peppermint. Peppermint works really well because it has that cooling, kind of overall cooling. The really cool thing is you can put it on your skin and then blow on it or put a fan on it, and that makes it even more intensifies
it. It's like rubbing alcohol does the same thing.
Right.
You can use rubbing alcohol to cool off with it too.
So, and yeah, Clary Calm, I'll tell you, that's helped me in so many different ways, whether it be hot flashes, just overall anxiety. Like there have been times when I've just been anxious, and that's helped me a lot as well. But if you don't have any of those, just straight up peppermint oil, and then put a fan on helps that. Karina, can you please email me the info and I'll send it? Karina, Kitty, can you put up my email address for Karina and have her send me an email for that so that we can, there it is. I love her. Yeah, cool showers at night. So, Terry, we definitely need to get you hooked up with some Clary Calm, because that helps. It helps to regulate hormones as well, so it helps with the overall things of what's happening to cause the hot flashes. So
I say just get naked.
Hey, Mama! Mama's here. I was starting to get worried.
I know, she's not having a really good time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's got a lot of drama in her.
Okay, so back to the properties of fennel. It's antiseptic, antispasmodic. It's an aperitif, meaning it helps to stimulate appetite. It's a carminative, a vermifuge. Vermifuge means
it gets the vermins.
Parasites. It helps parasites.
It uses them to your poop.
Diuretic.
Makes you pee.
Emmenagogue. Help stimulate your period. Laxative.
That makes you fart and
stimulant
poop all over yourself. Get yourself some Depends.
It's also an expectorant, so it helps with...
It helps you expect.
No. God. Okay, so it helps with nausea, colic...
What to expect when you're expecting.
It helps with nausea, colic, and flatulence. So again, with it being carminative, it helps with gas and the pains associated with it. It also helps with menstrual issues and PMS, menopause, premenopause. So this oil can help with regulating some of those things, but you definitely want to make sure that you're, hey, breakaway homesteader. That's so nice to have him here. His name's Patrick, right? Isn't that right?
He's the cool dude with all the vinyl.
Yeah, with all the vinyl, yeah. He's a cool guy. How much is Clary Calm? Somebody help me out with that. I have to look it up.
$49.95.
I'll tell you what it is. It's priceless. It is one of those. Like, if you're going to invest in something, ask him. I was a miserable wreck. And didn't know I was a miserable wreck. That was the worst part, is for months, you guys just wouldn't say anything, right? Because you love me and you didn't want me to feel bad. But as soon as I started talking about this oil, well, when I got to Clary Sage.
Can't believe the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so Anita says just don't overdose on the Clary Calm. So here's the thing, funny story.
Ha ha ha.
One of the people that buys oils from me, she bought some Clary Calm. And I called her. It was the weekend of the convention.
3267.
There you go. I called her and was checking on her, and she said she got her Clary Calm and she was so excited, but that she had put it on like I told her to, and that now she was feeling so tired that she couldn't keep her eyes open. Well, she kind of did both of the things that I told her to do instead of one or the other. See, I say either take it, just put a little bit on your wrists, and then you can kind of rub it behind your ears. Well, what she did was she took the roller ball, and she put a roller ball on this wrist, and a roller ball on this wrist, and then I believe she took a roller ball and put it behind both ears. So she had like a quadruple dose of the stuff. And the thing is that this has like, Coriander has chamomile in it, has lavender. I mean, it has like all of the oils that are sedative oils. So when you start doubling and tripling and all of that, putting that all together, it will definitely make you pass the heck out if you're not careful. So one little dab on the wrist, rub it together, put it behind your ears. That works. So Kitty says, I diffuse it and wear it. Does not knock me out, just keeps me from killing people. Well, I guess some of it is as how much anxiety and stress you have. I imagine that as you...
2-gallon goat played in the Super Bowl.
If you have a whole lot to overcome, the more oil kind of helps with that. But if you're already kind of at a, you know, at a certain baseline and you take too much, that can make it, you know, worse too. So, anyway. Alright. So, as far as the uses for fennel, we talked about menopause, premenopause. It also helps with cough and congestion, hunger pains, cramps, spasms, edema, fluid retention. So because it's a diuretic, it helps to get rid of all of the... What? Helps to get rid of fluid.
Rain country's here.
Oh, hey. Hey, Heidi. It also helps with intestinal parasites. And fennel, it can help with milk production as well. So, okay, so Karen says, agree with that, Robin. One morning I did balancing Clove and I was ready to go back to bed. Yeah, like, you just have to kind of know what your, what your need is. What about adding it to the bottom of your feet? Which oil? I mean, any of these you can put on the bottom of your feet.
I don't know if I would do the Clove on the bottom of the feet. There's so many receptacles down there.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. So yeah, we're talking, Heidi, we're talking about all the different spices, the spice oils that we have. I need something for clarity of thought. I seem to be in a fog. Rosemary.
Sporty spice.
Rosemary works good. Lemon.
We're talking about all the spice.
Lemon works really good.
Sporty spice.
Jason just likes that oregano on his pits.
What was it? That's the only one I can remember. Was Sporty Spice.
Oh, I don't know.
What was the other ones?
I don't know. You just remember her because she was pretty.
They were all hot.
So as far as clarity of thought, brain fog, rosemary is definitely a good one. Lemon is a good one as well for focus and lifting brain fog. Diffusing those together help our kids out a lot with schoolwork. They help keep focus going and as well as help to keep the brain kind of stimulated. Works really good.
Everybody got jokes.
Yeah, rosemary.
Everybody got jokes.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
I think I covered all that.
Okay.
Alright, so ginger. Ginger. We got 2 left. What about parsley and thyme? I don't use parsley.
Time keeps on slipping.
Thyme is a good one. You could use thyme as well.
Yeah, but you can never have enough time. It's never enough time.
Alright, now ginger. I love ginger. Ginger oil.
Not me. I was always kind of a Marianne kind of guy.
Yeah. Now we use ginger a lot on your nerve pain.
That's because she's so little.
And I hate it because parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Sing it, y'all. Dumb man here, what's a hot flash? You don't want to know, Woody. And Heidi said it. You really don't want to know. Lemon and ginger tea. Yeah, I bet that would be good. So ginger oil literally smells like, it smells just like ginger. You open it up and it's like shredded ginger. You just open it up. She says, I have times when a hot flash comes on, I feel like hitting someone, so it's best to stay away. Yeah. You gotta be careful with hot flashes. It just, there's moments when you just feel like, I mean, I guess in a guy's situation, they probably love it because, you know, we'd start throwing clothes all over the place. Like,
best time in this house.
Can't get cool. I have been known to walk into the refrigerator in the middle of the night and open up the freezer side and just stick my head in the freezer for a few minutes. Like, oh, I'm burning up. So I lovingly call those my midnight snacks with Satan. Okay, so as far as contraindications and precautions go with ginger, it can increase the risk of bleeding, so blood thinners, you want to be careful. It can lower blood sugar, so any medication for diabetes, you want to be careful with that. Monitor your blood sugar. It can lower blood pressure, so again, if you have high blood pressure, this helps, but if your blood pressure is already low, you want to be very careful. High doses can cause heartburn, diarrhea, or mouth irritation, so don't use too much of it.
Of what?
Ginger.
Now, you know, if you grow some ginger, and you slice it and boil it in some water, and then drink it, it'll help burn fat.
Yes. That grapefruit also. Grapefruit oil actually helps with
grapefruit makes your face turn inside out.
So does ginger to some people. Okay.
Not like patchouli.
As far as history of ginger goes, it's part of traditional Chinese I mean, they've used it years and years.
They use a lot of ginger.
Yeah, over 3,000 years.
You have to have a ginger with your sushi. They clean
Egyptians used it to ward off epidemics. The Romans used to use it in wine for an aphrodisiac. Indians used to use it for tea to help soothe the stomach.
Like Indians from India?
No.
Or American Indians?
No. India Indians. And the Chinese used to use it to make tonics, to strengthen the heart and to relieve head congestion. Now, with the flu bomb...
The flu bomb is
the
the bomb.
that we used ginger. Ginger was part of that flu bomb. Ginger and garlic. Cayenne pepper. Lemon juice and honey. Yeah. So, and you could definitely mince up that ginger really good.
It was good.
It was very spicy, but it definitely cleaned everything up.
The spice for me helped take the itch out of the back of my throat.
Yeah.
And it just made me feel good.
Make you feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside.
Until you poop.
Okay, so as far as properties go,
and then it was really disinfecting the colon, let me tell you.
It's antiseptic, anti-inflammatory. That's what we use it a lot for. Antispasmodic. It's a digestive, a laxative, analgesic, stimulant, decongestant, a neurotonic. And here's another thing. It's a solilogogue, means to stimulate the saliva production. And also, what was the other one? Antioxidant. So it helps to get rid of all the free radicals that are in the air. And, you know, like around here, we have chicken houses. And so a lot of times you have that nitrogen, just nasty, stinky smell all over the place. Or you'll have, when they start to scoop up all the poop, you'll have that. And then they'll throw it out onto the fields. So you'll have that nasty stuff floating through the air. So that's, you know, that would be considered a free radical. Antioxidants would help to get rid of that. As far as uses go, it's good for nausea, loss of appetite. It's also good for morning sickness. So it helps soothe the stomach a little bit. Motion sickness. I know Carol has used ginger before when we're driving down the road. When we didn't have peppermint and we had ginger, that helped her a lot. Vertigo as well. I used that when I was going through. I had a bout of vertigo for a little while. And I used ginger to kind of help chill that out some. It's also good for, and here you go, memory and brain support. So ginger would be another one. You asked about brain fog. This would probably help with that. You could try it, most certainly. It helps with heartburn and reflux, but again, don't use too much of it because it could actually make that issue worse. Helps with spasms and cramps, which is what we use it for your back.
I'm telling you, best thing for the heartburn that we did was sprinkling the cayenne pepper on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which sounds counterproductive, but it actually worked really well. This also helps with congestion, sinusitis. Again, this is why we used it in the flu balm. It's good for cold, sore throat, flu, and it's also good for sprains and broken bones. This is also another one of those warming oils. And it's very, very potent. So if you're going to use it to flavor anything, definitely use a wooden toothpick with this one, because you will, if you put a drop of ginger oil into whatever you're cooking, that's all you're going to taste is ginger. That's
Word.
it. So, and then the last one is juniper berry. As far as contraindications and precautions go, this lowers blood sugar, so if you're taking medication for diabetes, be careful. Also, this is a diuretic, so it can cause you to lose too much water if you're already taking something as a diuretic. So if you already are needing to, if you're taking something for edema or fluid retention, you want to make sure that with this oil that you're being very careful to stay hydrated. If you take it for more than 4 weeks, it can cause kidney problems.
Or just eat a watermelon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, it can interfere with fertility, or it could cause a miscarriage. So be careful with that. It can possibly irritate the stomach. It can possibly make controlling blood pressure more difficult. So be careful with that. And also, again, this is one of those, if you're going to have surgery, you want to stop it 2 weeks before you have your surgery. And as far as history goes, and historical uses, it was another one that was used to ward off evil spirits, negative forces, and also illnesses. Branches and berries were burned in Samaria and Babylonia as a sacrifice to the gods. It was given to Mongolian women at the beginning of labor. It was also burnt in French hospitals to clean the air. Egypt used this as a remedy to treat tapeworms. And then the most common one is that juniper berry is used to flavor gin. Did you know that?
I heard something about that.
Mm-hmm. I know back when I used to be giving, when I would give picture clues on Instagram, this was one of those that I remember the oil that I put a picture up of a gin bottle, a Seagram's gin bottle or something like that, and everybody's like, what? So, okay, as far as properties go, again, this is the last one, so we'll go through this pretty quick. The properties are, again, it's antiseptic, so it seems like to me pretty much all of these spice oils tend to be antiseptic, antibacterial. A good portion of them are diuretics. So, you know, if you can't take one oil, you might be able to use a different one that will have the same kind of effects. This is also a carminative, antispasmodic, depurative, diuretic, stimulant, detoxifier, antiparasitic. So again, a lot of these properties are the same with a lot of these oils. So they're all in this same kind of family that have a lot of the same properties that you can use for a lot of the same issues. As far as uses for juniper berry, if you have liver issues, this can help. Also helps with detoxification, again, because it's a diuretic. It can help with acne and psoriasis. Urinary health, again, with it being a diuretic, it helps with edema. With it being antiseptic and antibacterial, it helps with you know, like plagues, epidemic, all of this stuff with, especially like with the flu, the way the flu is going around, this can definitely be an oil that could be used for kind of depurative, like cleaning out the air and things like that. It also helps with tension and stress as well as depression. And it helps with cholesterol as well as blood sugar. So, that, as they say,
is the rest of the story.
Is that the end? I'm empty. Okay, so Karina says, hee hee, we all know I love my juniper berries in liquid form mixed with lemon in my tea. Juniper berry in in liquid form. So does anybody have any questions? Oh, one other thing. This week, doTERRA is running a special, buy one, get one free. So I will be on our oils page. I will be advertising that each day. It starts on Tuesday. And so I'll start posting those each day. Woody says ingesting oils makes me a pee machine. Windswept says, I hear you can put juniper berries in mead. I don't drink, but I heard that you can use that. You know, I don't know if I would want to, though.
I don't know.
The flavor, the mead is really good. Like the way that we...
Bomb.com.
Yeah, it's really good. So I don't know if I would want to add to it with that. But anyway. So yeah, we'll start showing those. Here's a little graphic. Starting on the 20th through the 24th, so that'll be Tuesday through Saturday. There's going to be a buy one, get one promotion going on. So Neona says, what does juniper berry smell like? Like gin.
And juice.
It does. It smells, it literally, like, when I read that it smelled, or that it helped to flavor gin, like, it made so much sense, because at that point when I would smell it, that's exactly what it smelled like. I used to make mead, but only added fruits to it for flavor. Yeah, like, that's what I would think, is you would want something still with some more natural sugar to help in the ferment process, is what I would think. What?
I'm think that intrigues me. Like, I want to maybe do that this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, our mead come out so nice.
It really did, but again, it's like,
And I don't know. Will it lose Viking points if you add fruit to it?
Oh, is this what we're worried about? Drinking it out of a horn?
Would it lose Viking points?
Because it has raspberry. It's raspberry flavor.
I wonder if that was how the first umbrella drink started.
It could
Some
have been.
Viking dude's wife threw some
strawberries,
and strawberries into the mead and was like,
Yeah, can't have fruity Vikings. Terry, yes, it'll be going on the 20th through the 24th. So no, it won't. It'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Wild orange.
I don't know. Wendy Phillips, I'm so late. I know, right?
Oh no.
We're not doing. Sounds like a marine drink.
He can't even spell marine.
Yeah, he can. He spelled it right.
No,
Who are you to talk about it?
He didn't spell it right. He didn't capitalize.
About a capitalization there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get my money until 26 or 27. Well, Terry, if you see anything, let me know. I'm going to put it... Yeah, I bet orange and cinnamon, I bet would be great with honey mead. I mean, I bet it would be really good. And that might be something that you just add it to after the fact. Like, we just take a glass of mead and maybe put a little bit of orange oil and cinnamon oil and see what it does. I bet it would be pretty good.
Had to put in one of them frou-frou cups.
Does the Clary Calm or Sage better? Clary Calm to me is the best. No, it's spelled right in the Army Dictionary. Army of one. Anyway, says anybody have any questions?
Now I want to go get a bottle of our mead and.
BOGO question. If LRP order ships on the 20th, will it honor any product that was bought that might be on the BOGO? Yes. So if you order it as, okay, so on the 20th, if you order something if you order the thing on the 20th, that is, because each one, they do a different oil each day. So let's just say, for instance, peppermint is on the 20th. If you order peppermint on that day, it will be part of the BOGO. But remember, with the LRP, in order to get your points, you have to have at least 50 PV on your order.
I'm so glad Rain's coming back to our live streams now. I miss her humor.
Yeah. I know, but I haven't seen the little Clary Sage icon.
No. No, she's on the oregano right now.
Oh, okay.
Which is, that one was funny.
So, okay, and that's the thing. Everybody's asking what's on the sale. We don't know. That's the thing, is I won't know what the oil is until that day. So, that's why I said I'll be posting each day. I will post it in that group. So, if you're interested in any of that and you're not a member of the Essential Oils of Mama Bear, see, you missed my teasing.
I did.
If you're interested in that, make sure you're a member of that group and just be checking each morning, because what I'll do is when it's released in the morning, I will go ahead and share it to that page. And then if you're interested in that, just contact me and we'll arrange for it.
And be watching our channel, because now that we're all back to health, I'm going to be editing bunch of the videos that we shot. I got like, 4 videos on
something like that, yeah.
I don't know if I'll put them all out this week. I may spread them out a little bit. I may just put them all
at
out.
one time. Yeah.
One a day out for the next couple of days, since all I got to really do is edit them. And to get everybody caught back up about what's going on with the pig hide and the rendering of the pig fat and the processing of the pig.
Kiwi, you can message me anytime during the day. I can usually, yeah. I mean, like, very first thing in the morning, I get up at 6 a.m. and I go to work at about 8. Lunch at about 11:30. So, I mean, if you need to talk to me, the best time would be, like, between 6 and 8 a.m. or, like, 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. and then after 5. So,
yes,
are you still going postal?
I still work at the post office. I made it through the Postal Academy. I had my 2 days of OJT, and yesterday was my first day on the route by myself.
By himself?
And I did rather well.
You really did. You did a good job.
And I did an 81 mile route in about 7 hours. So
did a good job. Did a good job. Alrighty.
How am I liking the job? Well, I remind myself every day that they are paying me $18 an hour to do this.
Yeah.
So
there are a lot of times you have to remind yourself of that.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is rather cool. I get to sit in my little Jeep that I got and pass out mail for $18 an hour and come home. If I finish before the allotted time, then I'm still on the clock until that allotted time is up. And right now they pay for that
time frame.
It's a 7.5 hour
Even
route.
if it only takes you 5 hours, you still get paid for
7.5 hours. Now on the flip side of that, if it takes you
9 hours,
if it takes you 10 hours,
right,
you're still only getting paid for 7.5.
Exactly.
But and I'm not working every day. I'm only working every other Saturday, so it doesn't really affect what we've got going on here on the homestead. If anything, it's a blessing by itself, because I know at least 2 days a month I can go out and get away from the stress of the homestead YouTube stress,
all of it,
kid stress, all that.
All of it, yeah. So.
And it brings in a little extra money. That way we can, it'll help out when bills get a little tight, or it gives us the ability to put money off to the side, more money off to the side, to be able to build the buildings that we want, like our processing building. We're going to build a really big building right behind my shop, because there's some nice little bit of land right there.
It's not really useful for
But it's not really useful for anything, because 2 inches underneath the topsoil is granite.
Yeah.
So we're just going to put some concrete, pour a slab, and put a processing building up there. And then on the other side of that, where it's just a down little hill, we'll build a little corral, so that way we can bring the pigs or the cows or whatever that we're processing. I bring my deer up, and we can process right there. We'll process the chickens right there.
Right.
And
speaking of processing chickens, you want to give everybody the teaser about the idea that we had?
Go ahead.
So this year we're planning on doing 4 cycles of broilers. And we're going to space them out every 2 weeks, right? So on the, I think it's going to be when we order the 3rd round.
When the 3rd round shows up.
Right. We're going to hold a class, a butchering, chicken butchering class, because by that point it will have been the 8 weeks to be able to do, or no, whatever. Anyway, we'll be at the point, the way the timing is going to go is we'll be at the point where we'll have our first batch to be able to butcher. And you'll be able to still see how we're doing the...
You're going to get basically a complete chicken class.
Right.
You're going to see where our chicks go when they show up. You're going to basically see the brooder house. We're going to talk about how we got it set up, how we're recycling rainwater for them, and show you the chicken cups, and how we have them all set up feeding, and what we do for bedding in there, and how we keep it warm.
Right.
Then we're going to show you our chicken tractors,
where they're out on the grass.
Where they're out in the grass, and how they get moved, and how we do what we do to protect them from predators, and what we have going on there. And then you will see, and depending on how many people we have in the class, participate on the butchering process.
Of the actual process, yeah.
And then you can purchase some of the birds there at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
The ones that you help process, we will sell them to you guys at a discounted rate.
Yeah. So
we don't know the cost of the class yet.
No, and we're probably going to serve a lunch as well. Probably one of our pigs or some of the chicken or something. We'll figure something out. So we'll definitely be, as we figure out the timing on that, we'll start promoting that class as well.
And Kitty brought it up before we could.
Well, no, Windswept asked if there's going to be a conference this year.
Yes.
Yes.
There's going to be a Homesteaders of America conference.
Look who showed up.
I ain't even talking to him. There is going to be a Homesteaders of America conference. It's going to be in Virginia again.
Front Royal, Virginia.
Joel Salatin is coming back. Eustace Conway is going to be there.
Stacy Lynn Harris.
Stacy Lynn Harris is going to be there. She's a speaker. I'm a speaker. Amy for real is a speaker.
Off-grid, Doug and Stacy will be there.
Off-grid, Doug and Stacy's going to be there. They're going to be speaking. So it's a 2-day event. Plus, they have a list of classes, hands-on classes, that's going to be given on the Thursday before that you can purchase. And most of these classes, you're going to be walking home with stuff. Like, we're doing a class. I'm doing a predator control on the Homestead class. You sign up for my class, you will be going home with some traps that are ready to go. You're going to be going home with a book that'll help.
Well, you'll be taking notes in that book while you're taking the class, so you'll have a lot of your notes.
But it'll have pictures of tracks, different sets,
things like that.
Stuff to help you identify the predator and stuff like that.
Some wool.
There's going to be some Yeah, it'll
Belly
also
wool.
you'll have some eye attractant, some wool and stuff like that.
Feathers, things like that.
I think there is there's a class with wool, right?
Oh, spinning. Yeah, they're going to do one with spinning and dyeing wool. Yep. There's a meat rabbit processing. I think there's one on canning. There's one. I think there's one on curing.
My new friend.
Yeah. Josh. Yeah. Langford
is doing some things. And what I find out really cool, I don't even know if these two dudes know that they're doing this, and it may be just because that they are both my friends on Facebook.
Okay.
But Floyd and Josh.
Right.
I don't know if they've got some secret competition going on.
Oh, I don't know.
But Josh posted a picture of some roses that he made, and then it was like the next day, here come Floyd's. And let me tell you, both of those men are some awesome blacksmiths. They need to go on to that Forged with Fire show. Now, in my honest opinion, I love Josh. Okay? I think Josh is an awesome blacksmith, but with the roses, I think Floyd got him on that one.
I don't know. I think they all have their own interpretation of how it needs to look. Floyd's
was beautiful.
Floyd's roses were beautiful that I saw the other day.
Yeah, so if they do have this little thing going on, my vote is
no knives.
Floyd won the
Floyd doesn't do knives.
Ah, so he doesn't do knives.
Right. So that's the thing is some people have their thing that they do, you know. So.
Yeah. And I know Josh makes awesome blades. He's right up there with Ricky.
Yeah. Now, and Floyd, when we were doing...
That's what I would love to see.
When Floyd was doing, when we were doing the auction, Floyd did the crosses, remember? They were really pretty, so...
My main man, Wayne. He's married now.
Married, yeah.
Married.
He's off the market. All that sexiness gone.
No, there wasn't no sexiness there to begin with.
Whatever.
But
you can buy a $20 knife, can't make one. Right? Yeah. All of the blacksmiths that we know that make knives, they make incredible knives. The issue is a lot of times you have people that want quality for nothing.
Yeah. Well, those type of people need to get over it. Like, I mean, I showed you guys flat.
What? Oh, goodness gracious.
You know what? You know what I would love to see?
What?
I would love to get a Josh knife and a Ricky Wallace knife and see which one was and just put them to the test.
Well, you already have a Ricky Wallace knife.
I'm not messing up that Ricky Wallace knife.
Oh,
no, they gotta send me the same knives. They would have to send it to me.
How are you gonna do that?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get some free knives.
Okay. You're such a butt face. See? Wanting something for nothing right there. So
that would be an awesome. Amy, for real, if you're still here, that's what you need to do for the Saturday or for a little thing on late Saturday afternoon is have a Ricky Wallace and a Josh knife making competition.
Is Ricky even coming to the conference?
I don't know. He should.
He should. But is he?
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, we will be at the conference this year. We'll have a booth.
We'll have a booth.
Your,
I'll be doing demos.
Demonstrations.
I'll be speaking at the conference on Friday. And I'll be talking about predator control on the homestead. I'm going to focus most of my predator lecture on your chickens, protecting your chickens.
Homestead, on
your homestead.
Predator control on the homestead.
I'm going to talk about different ways to help deter predators. I'm going to smash bad information, bad rumors, like going to go get tiger poop. I'm going to tell you why that's against the law everywhere. We're going to smash around a lot of the bad information that's going around that people try to do as deterrents. We're going to give you good, solid information, fact-based information. And
what's the date of the conference? We will be there on, I want to say the 10th is the day that we're going to be up in Virginia. But the actual conference is that Friday and Saturday, which is the 12th and the 13th of October.
So
But we're going to be up there. We have to be up there on the 10th. We're going to check in on the 10th. And then the 11th will be the class. Then the 12th and the 13th will be the actual conference.
Yes.
So, yep. So that's, right now, that's basically what's going on with us, along with a lot of garden planning.
This year's conference, last year's conference was awesome.
It was phenomenal. But,
there was just a tremendous amount of information there. A lot of good folks were there. All those folks that were there last year, from my understanding, were all coming back this year. I know Patty, isn't Miss Patty giving a class too? Isn't she talking?
Yeah, she's doing a talk. No, I don't know about a class.
I know I don't think she's doing
a class
Thursday, but I think she's doing
She's
talk.
speaking,
yeah.
like on Saturday, I think. I think Tommy's speaking on Friday and she's speaking on Saturday, or vice versa.
So there's going to be everybody that was there last year is going to be there this year, and then there's going to be some new people there this year. M.I. Gardner's going to be there. He's talking.
Are Tangi and Jack going to be there? Absolutely. Yeah, they'll be back.
Yeah.
We're going to be there the whole weekend. Yes. We're literally coming up on Wednesday. It's going to be our family vacation because we're not taking one between now and then. And I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with the Virginia area, but there's Luray Caverns is very close by. So if you're making a trip out of it, that might be something to check out. It's about 30 or so minutes from where the conference is being held. We're going to try and take the girls up there to go see that.
You're more than welcome to come with us.
And then the other thing is, Joel Salatin's place is not far from there as well. So I know a lot of people last year made, almost a week of it. And they went up to Joel's farm and toured his farm. A lot of people went up to D.C. because D.C. is not too far. Yep. So they went up to D.C. for a day. So there's a lot of options if you're wanting to make this into a weekend trip and it not just being about homesteading, there's a lot of opportunities besides just what's going on. But
and in all honesty, guys, in all seriousness, there is so much information. This is like your one-stop shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
For homesteading, because you're gonna get classes on and talks on people that have been they're not posers.
They've been doing it.
They've been doing it for a while, but you're gonna get information covering everything from raising rabbits,
pigs,
butchering pigs,
canning,
predator
fermenting.
control, fermenting, canning.
There's even
herbs.
Herbs. There's an herbal guy, Daryl Patton, I think is his name.
He's more of a foraging guy, but Amy's
real. Gonna do hers.
Her book's coming out soon. So.
And also, the Pratts, they're going to be, because they have their children. Their children are incorporated a lot in their homestead, so they're going to actually have their kids there to talk about homesteading with children. So that's another aspect. There's so many different things.
Terry, I think there is. I know there's one from last year's out. I don't know if it's been put on the DVD yet, but
yeah, I don't know about that. But I know you have to be a member to have access to that. And I know we've already talked to Amy. They're going to have someone professionally come through and film everything for next year or for this year's, so that it will be available probably in DVD form, so it'll be something that people will be able to, access and see. Because it's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, there's just so many people there that have been doing it for so long.
And all joking aside, the networking possibilities.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rubbing elbows with different people is just phenomenal. And then the other thing, too, I like to always bring up is a lot of these people are homesteaders that are also kind of entrepreneurs. So they have their own things that they're selling that they've created or done. And this is so close to the Christmas season. October, you got November, December. So, you could show up that weekend
and do a lot of Christmas shopping.
And support some local, or not local, but people, like-minded people, small businesses, and then be able to use, to support them, but also to give one-of-a-kind, unique kind of gifts.
Yeah.
I'm having a bad headache and nausea. That can help. Peppermint, frankincense, and lavender.
I mean, and I'm dead serious about the networking possibilities that are there. Take, for example, what happened with us. I'm going to Joel Salatin's farm this spring, and I'm going to be working with him on predator controlling at Polyface Farm.
Yep, very cool.
Why? Because he came by our booth while I was doing demos at the Homesteaders of America conference.
And asked a couple questions here and there. And then
that's the networking possibilities that are there.
Like there was one vendor there that had a lot of poultry processing stuff. And Joel actually buys stuff from them because they were a local vendor. And so you had somebody who is definitely I don't want to say an expert in the field because most experts don't like to be called experts, but somebody who's very well respected in his field saying, this is the stuff I buy. So you already know, if he's buying his knives from there, it gives him farm cred. So, you can definitely, and then things that you might not normally have access to, like
things you might not think about.
We have a lot of people that are spinning natural fibers and stuff. They'll have alpaca wool and things like that, or alpaca fiber. And so things that you might not normally have access to, that you might be able to go, oh, well, Timber Creek Farm has it, and Dana Sullivan's Sullivan Family Farm has it.
Right. Well, think about Tommy Alderman, for an example. Tommy gives a very in-depth and very informative lecture about how to deal with an emergency and stress on your homestead. How many of us really sit back and go, I might want to look on how to...
Right.
There's information about stuff
that you would have never thought about.
Even think about.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely be checking out the information about that. And if it's something that you think you can swing, I mean, you have so much time.
You got 8 months.
You've got basically 8 months between now and then. Another thing I will say is the hotels, depending on how long you're going to be there, we found that Airbnb.com was a better option for us. I think we're renting a house for like $120-something a night, and it's a full house. So if that's something that you're, interested in, you can definitely check that out. 2 families
can go in together, and it cuts that price down. Down in half.
Yeah. So, or for instance, if you only want to be there for 2 days and the other one wants to be there for the other 2 days, or what, somebody's coming for the Thursday and Friday and somebody else wants to be Saturday and then leave on Sunday, you can split it up the 4 days or whatever, do it that way. She saw Food Incorporated. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that one will open your eyes. So, okay, so we got about 4 minutes before Alderman Farms. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. You guys have a wonderful week. And I guess...
Remember, be kind to one another. You don't know what that person's going through. They could be having a bad day or just having a really bad time, real stressful time. Be kind to one another. Love on one another. Lift each other up. Don't kick each other down. Remember to recycle, reuse, and repurpose. We only got one planet. And the more the human population grows, the more people are putting in landfills. And that means more of our wildlife is losing its natural habitat, and they're coming to live in your house. So let's reuse, recycle, keep that stuff out of the landfill, and give our wildlife a chance. Thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
Bye. Good night.